Hi, Sakina ji.
Thank you. I'm trying to unmute myself. Is that better?
Is that yes?
Hi.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Neha. कैसे हैं आज आप?
Bas, how are you? You had a
I'm
haircut.
fine. नहीं तो
Acha, okay.
I had a haircut 4 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Not today. Not today. Today was a busy day. I conduct a yoga class
Yeah.
at Singapore Swimming Club. So I come back from there almost 8:39, and then I have a shower, I have my dinner, and then now just getting ready for this session. I'm just in time.
Oh, wow. We are glad you made it in time. So where
Yeah.
are we traveling today?
As I promised you last week, to Pompeii.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah. But before that, can I just say a few lines from Gulzar Saab?
Absolutely. Sure.
मैंने पढ़ा था, अभी किसी ने मेरे को भेजा था, छोटे से 4 लाइन है सिर्फ, क्या बोलते हैं, थोड़ी सी छोटी सी पंक्तियां हैं, लेकिन just I want to make my feelings known that वो पॉम्पे तो पॉम्पे था इतने साल पहले, लेकिन as a person I want to convey these feelings through the alfaz of Gulzar Saab. बोलूं?
हाँ जी, go ahead.
बड़ा नायाब रिश्ता है उनका और मेरा. अभी ये नहीं पूछो वो कौन है, ये नहीं पूछना, ओके? बड़ा नायाब सा रिश्ता है उनका और मेरा, ना मैं शामिल हूँ उनके अपने में, ना वो शामिल है मेरे गैरों में. बस वो इतना ही. वैसे ही शौक हुआ.
हम नहीं
वरना
पूछ रहे.
मेरी नहीं
हम
पूछा,
नहीं पूछ रहे.
हाँ तो नहीं इजाजत है आपको नहीं पूछने का. वैसे मेरे थोड़े फ्रेंड्स, हम लोग भी पोएट्री गैंग है एक, तो वहां भी जाके हम लोग पोयम अपनी खुद की पढ़ते हैं या फिर किसी पोएट की, जैसे ये अभी गुलजार साहब का, लेकिन ये सब तो अपने वाले हैं इंडियंस, लेकिन उनका हिंदी और वो इतना मजबूत नहीं है, तो ज्यादातर अंग्रेजी कोई पोएट का ले आके उसको फिर हम लोग डिस्कस करते हैं कि पोएट क्या कह रहा है. ये हमारा मतलब है उधर. तो अभी कोविड की वजह से तो थोड़ा कम मिलते हैं, लेकिन वो तो बहुत सालों से यहाँ चालू है. जस्ट टू लेट यू नो, आई इन सिंगापुर हम अपने घर में जमा होके करते हैं.
Wow.
So today I'll take you into Pompeii. मैं जरा आपको पॉम्पे का बताऊं.
हाँ जी.
It's in Italy, towards the south of Italy on the Bay of Naples. It's by the sea, and Pompeii was by the volcano named Vesuvius, which erupts occasionally. But this one that I am talking about, that I went to see after its eruption about 1900 or more years ago. Imagine 2 centuries ago, it erupted without any warning, and it covered Pompeii. It was a lovely Roman Italian city, very modern, and it was buried under ash. Do you know how high? Higher than our room ceiling, about 6 to 8 meters thick.
Wow.
Imagine 2-3 times our height, a human being's height. And in the museums there are people, human beings, all frozen in crouching position or in many, many postures. They were sealed in that poses by the hot ash, because the roof and the all melted and covered and buried everything for 1900 years.
Wow.
So about 100 years ago, about 70 years ago, it was unearthed, and I went to see it.
Wow.
So it's something wonderful, how wonderful and how modern they were. And I tried to tell all that to you with my words on Pompeii.
Beautiful.
So I hope
So
you can
away we
absorb.
go.
Yeah. So just absorb and visualize, okay? And the poem, my title is simple: Pompeii. 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 Yeah. So here I go. Pompeii on the bay. Bay of Naples. Bluest of bay, the Bay of Naples. And I tell you, if I interrupt here, that bay, as I rode on a boat there, it's so azure blue. You'd be surprised at the blueness of the waters at the bay there in the Bay of Naples, in the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so Pompeii on the bay, Bay of Naples, bluest of bay, the Bay of Naples, beautiful Bay of Naples that lay in a blissful state. What kind of blissful state?
The
They
state
that
of death.
No, okay, that's true too. Good. At least you're listening and absorbing. Thank you. That lay, or who lay, the city of Pompeii. It was about 20,000 people at that time when the ashes came down. Okay, beautiful Bay of Naples that lay in a blissful state of lovers, brothels, and Roman bathhouses, of drinking taverns, elegant houses, and elaborate villas. Forums, the Roman forums where they had competition and, chariot races, etc. Forums, theaters, arenas for combat, paved roads and pathways that smoothen horse carriage rides. Lined those roads, paved roads, lined with artisan cafes. So Pompeii bustled, hustled with Romans, 20,000 Roman Pompeians, blissful Pompeians, with affairs of favor and grace, awaited the unawaited. Yeah, they awaited the unawaited. How? How did Pompey await? Pompey, like a bride, awaited. The villas dressed, interiors painted. Oh, huge villas. You enter, and then there is an open courtyard, there are fountains, and then the rooms branch out. And towards the back, there's a beautiful enclosed garden with painted walls, frescoes painted on it. Beautiful. They're still preserved by the ashes. Okay. So Pompeii, like a bride, awaited. Villas dressed, interiors painted like a bride's body, overburdened with jewels and trinkets, perfumed and powdered, awaited the unawaited. So Mount Vesuvius, just 5-6 miles away, or maybe kilometers away, also awaited. What was it waiting for? Mount Vesuvius. Mount Vesuvius, just 5-6 miles away, also awaited to rain down volcanic ash mixed with water. Rain down pumice stones, poisonous gases, apocalyptic lightning, tidal waves, and earthquakes. It was waiting, it waited. And then one day it did. It just did. Without any foreplay, without loving, and then darkness descended and buried Pompeii in a long, long embrace. How did it bury Pompeii? The embrace was a layer of ashes 3 times your height. A long, long spell of sleep for all denizens of Pompeii. 19 centuries long spell, a frozen in ashes spell. And after 1900 years, looters and hunters returned to find treasures intact. Animals, plants, pots and pans, crouching humans frozen in action, houses, villas, everything packed tight and preserved in Mount Vesuvius' abundant ashes. So after 2000 odd years, I, Sakina, a happy wanderer, stood in awe at the temples of Jupiter, goddess Juventus, Venus, Apollo, and Diana. These gods, goddesses, and their likeness carved in marble. I wandered into the bathhouses of 3 kinds. Frigidium, I think you can understand. Frigidium, fridge, so cold. I wandered into the bathhouses. They are there, exactly intact. I wandered into the bathhouses of 3 kinds. Frigidium means cold water. Tapidium means warm water. And Calidium means cauldron, hot. I stood in front of ancient brothels, in front of statues of nympheniums, and in villas, the quarters of women called gynaeciums. Really, they are called that. At the temple of Jupiter, I discovered Juventus, goddess of rejuvenation. I hope she rejuvenated me. Anyway, at the temple of Jupiter, I discovered Juventus, the goddess of rejuvenation. In the temple of Venus, I sought love. I walked in awe into the temple of Apollo. Apollo was the god of music and medicine, and there was his sister Diana. Ancient gods, do they exist? Now I asked myself, did they exist? I asked. So I answered, not for me. Not for me. So I left Pompeii and the ash-frozen denizens of Pompeii in their poses, inside glass cages of display, and headed north to Verona. Now, Verona is a town a little further north in Rome, Italy, in Italy. And there I headed north to Verona, to the house of Juliet. Imagine the contrast now, from desolation to the house of Juliet. Why? So that I felt a little better and I connected to Romeo. That's how I end. Thank you.
Wow.